All right, here we go. We got your election special edition because we didn't do a show yesterday with my good friend all the way from the East Coast. Giving a big hug to my friend on the West Coast, Alex. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Mario? Man, we put this shit together real fast, didn't we?
Yeah, man. Full disclosure, my wife recorded the Belenige game for me to watch because of work yesterday, as you saw, and I don't think many of us could watch the game. Um, and she recorded it, and she gave me the option of watching the game or watching that Dave Chappelle special with David Letterman. And so I took the Dave Chappelle special. Just a big fan of the guy, and I was like, "Fuck it." I've been feeling kind of funny last couple of days with this election coming up, and so I think we'll do a quick breakdown. We'll get Alex's take on the game if that's okay, or how do you want to do it, buddy?
Yeah, no, that's good with me, man. I kind of watched the game. I watched it 1.5 times.
Yeah, I watched like the
Um,
highlights and
I didn't.
stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch a lot of the second half. So I kind of went back and just watched the second half a little bit. I watched the first half heavily because it just fell on my lunch. So I was able to watch the first half. As soon as I left the building, I'm on the way home. I got the playing in my car. Sefetovic scores that goal, so it started off nice.
Nice, nice. You know what? I'll do the token starting 11 video because I do like this video. Do you want me to rhyme off the list, or you want to rhyme off the list? What do you want to say
I
here?
got the list right in front of me. If you want me
Giddy
to
up.
do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So we want me to start in the back. We'll start in the back. Let's
Yeah,
start with the back. Vladi.
work your way to the top.
Vladi. We'll start in the back with the Vladi. Vlachodimos, we had Odie in goal. I thought he had a great game. Personally, I thought Odie made a couple good saves. We'll get into it. But we had Odie in between the pipes. We had Gilberto for the injured Andre Almeida. Otamendi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo make up the back line. We had Rafa, Julian Weigel, and Tarap to get the start next to each other with Everton on the other side. And then Sefetovic gets to start over Wallschmidt, over Wally, and Darwin Nunez. Of course, the hot hand. You got to keep the hot hand in. Kid's been playing phenomenal. You got to keep him in the start lineup. Um, I was pleasantly surprised with the lineup. I think if there's one thing I do want to give JJ credit for is that his rotation of players seems to be a lot better than we've seen in recent years, past years, whether it be Bruno Lage or Rui Vitoria. JJ has found a way to kind of get everybody in the game, everybody involved, everybody's got some minutes under their belt. Even guys like Diogo Gonçalves has some minutes under his belt. So that's one thing I can't appreciate JJ's just kind of changing the starting lineup when it needs to. We had a big Europa game. PZ got to start in the Europa. Is that correct? Didn't get to start here in the Liga. Julian Weigel and Trapp. Also, Gabriel didn't get it. So you had two new midfielders in Trapp and Weigel. Even though Trapp played in the Europa League, sometimes JJ confuses me with what he's doing. But I like to see Weigel in there. We paid $20 million for him, man, for him not to get minutes from this to be sitting on the bench. I mean, a lot of people. I want to get into him really quick because he got to start today. A lot of people think that Julian Weigel was the reason why Benfica was bad last year. Like Julian Weigel, could they say?
I
I
like
see it
them.
all the
I like
time.
them. I know.
I
You
liked
got
him
some people
too.
that talk trash about him, but I like the guy. I think he's an interesting character. He's clearly got talent. It's just trying to find his home where he fits.
Well, they correlate Benfica's debacle with Julian Weigel coming over, and I could see it. I get it. All right, Mario. All right,
But
we get it.
that
We
was a
understand.
collective cluster.
But right, that's a collective effort. You're not gonna tell me that Julian Weigel just came over and he fucked everything up, or it was Julian Weigel's fault that BZ, Rafa, and Double A were upset about something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can't. I'm not buying it. I'm really not. I think he's a good player. Today, not today, but yesterday, he played well. I think he plays well next to Tarap. Like I think it's a duo that works. Um, I can't say that I was really, really missing Gabriel, even though I really appreciate Gabriel how he's been playing lately. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really miss it. Tarapta is doing so much in that midfield, man. Like I don't understand where he gets his hate too. I think Benfica fans, we need to relax. You
I,
gotta
I, I
relax with all the hate. You know what I mean? Like I we get it
yeah.
too much with Trop. Like I know we got our favorites. They're our favorite players, and we got players that we think maybe shouldn't be here. But the things that they say about the Weigels and the Trops. I mean, we say
And
it about
w-
Andre Almeida, so I can't. I
we
don't want to
yeah, but
be
we
a
lightly
hypocrite, but
yeah, but we joke a lot. We joke like I hope people sometimes people take it out of proportion or out of context. But we have a lot of fun. We love this club. We love the players on the club. I gotta say, like a lot of angst. And if I was to go back in time, the angst to me was a combination of the Penta year. Then that fell apart, and then the subsequent year with the Rui Vitória debacle that led to again lack of investment, to João Felix rising, and this whole thing of many years promising a youth academy and João Felix getting sold, and everyone at the time was very kind of upset but understood. It's the buyout, and then it was just a lack of investment. And what we saw last year, I think the frustrations when they looked at a Tarapt. Weigel is an interesting. It was an interesting signing. So I don't want to pick on him, but when you looked at, I'm going to pick on Almeida. You look at some of the other guys that we had on the pitch, and we go, what did we do with all this money? We didn't spend it. We didn't do anything worth the title that we just lost felt very like self-inflicted. Porto were not better.
I
Porto
think
was.
you have to go back to the both of them. The both of them that we lost was pretty much self inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Both those years,
And
like you said, like you mentioned, the Penta,
yeah,
right?
and it was this whole and this is all leading into the whole election chat, but it's this whole feeling that um,
Oh, we'll get there. It's all correlated.
yeah, we're building up to great things. And to take it back to this match, and I'm doing highlight commentary, but even just whether you watch the highlights or whether you watch kind of like the stats and things of the sort, very one-sided. I just popped it up on the screen. It clearly one-sided on shots, on possession. Benfica were in control. They got a 2-0 win. It was bing, bam, boom, a simple victory against a side that we should get a win any day of the week. Georges Jesus is this individual that causes a lot of conflict in the sense that I like what he does on the pitch. I like his desire to win championships above all else. But I will say this is our second round with the guy. After being with him, having a nasty breakup, and now we're dating again, kind of thing. It doesn't. It feels weird, for lack of better words. In the sense that I think JJ is doing what JJ does. He wants to win. He's playing attacking football. He's pushing his envelope. The Otamendi thing, he was captain again on this game. Rose people the wrong way, and it kind of rubbed us the wrong way. But at the same time, I sit on it and I kind of go, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, we were saying none of these guys belong on the pitch or play with any heart, right? And he came into this team, the same group of guys that showed no heart, and he's pushing them. And maybe Otamendi, when he came in, had a bit more. I just think it's a very sad statement that the one guy that's made the captain, which is the highest honor you can achieve as a player at Benfica, no higher honor, is to be made a captain of this club, goes to a guy 2.5 weeks into the club. It isn't like a Rui Costa coming back for his retirement year where he's a legend. It's a Portisha that was shit-talking the club prior to joining. Experienced guy, but not like a megastar either. It was more of a case that maybe the guy is showing the most fire in the locker room. Maybe he's the guy that warrants the badge. But man, that's a sad, sad statement at these players. It's just a really sad statement of this club that we're achieving. We're supposed to be getting up to new heights, and I don't know. Something's disconnected. I think that's this weird feeling all the fans have when they look at the 11. They get upset when they see Seferovic or they see this guy or that guy or this guy. And I'm happy Seferovic scored, man. You got a header. We joked that we got no headers last year, and all of a sudden this year we're banging hitters.
The build up, the Everton to Grimaldo, from Grimaldo to Seferovic. It was like this. That's how you draw it up. You know what I mean? The one thing I don't understand yet, and maybe I don't know. It's timing. Maybe they're not. Like I said, we said a couple weeks that they're not really gelling yet. I don't understand the high press. The high press, you get the early goal, and then, you're kind of fishing for the next 60 minutes or so. You know what I mean? Sometimes I understand pressing, high press, but to press to press. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not every goal can go in, but it does lack. it does leave a little, you know, a little. Does like I want to. It just leaves a little out on the field when you score that early goal. You're like, oh, we're gonna kill Belenenses. It's gonna be,
Yeah, let's get
you
five
know,
nothing. Let's do a
let's
big
get
win.
5-zip. Yeah, let's get 5-zip, and then you kind of like not. I mean, like you said, it was a dominant performance. It wasn't at any moment. I guess that's a comfortable feeling. That any moment we were in trouble. I don't think I felt that for the last 2 weeks that we were in any kind of danger or anything like that. As far as their offense, and Josh said it in the chat. Yes, Belenenses is very good defensively. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean. Also, too, you're coming off of a Europa game where the young kid scores 3 goals. I'm not saying he's going to score 3 goals every time or
Oh, you
anything
got
like
another
that,
goal,
but
man. Another goal, which is sick.
he definitely did get another goal. Definitely did his first Liga NOS goal, so that was nice to see as well. Now he's really getting. And we said, man, once he scores one, it's gonna be,
Come in bunches,
they're
man.
gonna come. Right, right. But I think yesterday's game though, just it's further proof that even though we're mad about JJ, it's working. Whatever it is, it's working. You know, we got the lead. We're playing confident football. We're playing confident soccer. The team, I always hear that there's always these little groups, these little packs, like the Grimaldo and Seferovic love affair and all this stuff. But sometimes I really don't see it on the pitch. Like I really don't see, a split, or I don't see one player doesn't like the other player. I don't see it. I mean, maybe somebody can give me an example of a time, you know what I mean, that it happened. But I don't think that this team is what I mean is like we're not lacking leadership.
Yeah.
Whether Otamendi is the captain or not, I don't think that that's
No,
the
I
problem.
but it feels jumbled up. I'll give a comment to Eric. You know, the kid should have had 9 by now for Darwin. He's got like 5 assists. He's having it. I'll be honest, man. We said it last show. I'll say it again. I'll say it many times, and I hope I get to say this many times. That I am sorry for doubting this signing because you spend that kind of cash on a second division player that no one heard about. You're like, qu'est-ce que fuck? And now it's the guy's showing up, man. He's doing it. And thank God, man. I'm happy. I'm happy. This is a good signing. This is good work by the club, by the scouts, by people involved. Um, and I think the compressed schedule, the back-to-back games, we got a Europa game in 2 days' time. I'm okay. I'm glad, like you said, rotation. You get the 3 points, get a confident win. You don't need to overexert yourself, but if you can just power through a compressed schedule and get what you need to do, get your wins in the Liga NOS, make sure you're confident that if you did concede a goal, you still got the win, and do what you got to do in Europe so you kind of come out strong. Um, and that's what George Jesus hired to win and kind of compete at various levels. So I'm happy there. But at the same time, um, here I am, and this is kind of tying it back to the election. You see this result. I saw the press conference from George Jesus because Bernardo Silva during the day came out with this huge statement, you know, big, saying, very flatly saying, do not vote for Lucio Fieta, whatever you do, vote, we got to change these things around. And JJ being JJ and everything has to be about him, got offended that someone even brought up Bernardo Silva because it's one of Jesus' biggest failures, right? He got humiliated by that, by the fact that Bernardo Silva was such a legend and George Jesus thought he wasn't nothing, right? And so the name comes up, and I guess it irks him. Maybe it's like a sore spot for him. And he kind of goes on this rant about how the guy should keep his mouth shut, stick in his lane, and yada yada yada, and kind of just, and it goes back to kind of this mentality of like this kind of. Bernardo Silva is a man's man. He's one of us that became a professional athlete and killed it. He's a legend, but in all likelihood, if he never made it in the sport, he'd be on a show like this shooting the shit about Benfica because he's a fanatic, right? To me, that's a Benfica. And I look at two guys that left the club. Bernardo Silva left the club, not as a champion, not as a rock star, but as someone that was snubbed, rejected, and shat on by the current manager and chased out of the team, made a man of himself, was successful, and throughout that whole path, cheered on the team, always on social media, always loving the club, and he's the man he is now because he made it himself his own way, and he loves the team. George Jesus left the club, shat on Benfica, treated us like shit, comes back, and if you want to talk about who's more should stick in their lane, I think George Jesus, you do a good job on the pitch. You're a mercenary. We hired you for 2 years. Win your titles for us. And you stick in your lane, in my opinion. Do your job. Hopefully we give him the resources he need. I have confidence in that manager. I do have confidence in George Jesus. He's a good manager. But I think this animosity right now around players, former players, current players, legends of the club coming out and speaking out today again. Um, just
What
so
was he
many.
supposed to say though?
You
He's
should be.
right. I mean, JJ's not gonna say he's right.
No, JJ just says,
JJ was,
that's all he could have easily said is like that has nothing to do
that's
with the
not
game.
JJ though, man. That's
No,
not JJ.
but JJ,
You
he
know,
could, but he could be
he did that.
argumentative. He could be like, what
Right.
the, but you know how JJ gets, he gets
We could have
arrogant,
Rui
right?
Vitoria we should have Rui Vitoria take press conferences
Yeah.
then, if that's, you know what I mean.
No,
I
no,
was
but
gonna.
even then, like George Jesus, like Mourinho has done it before, where and other guys have done it. Guys that are loudmouths, guys that are arrogant, just can rip the press a new one, saying, "What the heck's that have to do with the game? Are you idiotic? Are you in Manchester right now? Are you in Lisbon? Are you an amateur hour here? Did you watch this game? Piss off! Get the heck
Right.
out of my room!" Like he could have done his typical arrogant spiel, but he went into this kind of like stick in your lane spiel,
Tirade.
and it's kind of like, and he does this. It's kind. I think he wants to be the main man. I think he has a hard
Right.
time. I don't, and because there's no fans. Here's the thing. He was loved. Like when he left Benfica, and he was at Sporting, he even kind of said it. It's different. It's different. Like yes, he's a Sporting man. That's his club, and he went there to kind of help them. Yet he still saw that Benfica was better. Like in terms of the passion, the animated nature of the fans. And
Right.
now he comes back, and it's silence. It's an empty stadium. I think that also plays into like he hasn't had like a welcome yet. In all honesty,
Yeah.
like we did like a little, a couple lawn chairs and Lucio Fiena and a few of his goons clapping, but that's it. Like
I'm glad though it didn't happen that way. And we got a bunch of questions in the
yeah,
chat, guys. Don't we definitely see them. We're gonna get to them really quick. But I'm glad that JJ didn't get that rose petal welcoming. You know what I mean?
well
That we're
the
all gonna
club
kiss
did,
your ass. Thank you
like
for being here.
Lucio Fiena
Yeah,
did
sure
it,
the club did. Sure the
but the
club
fans
did.
didn't.
But the club, right? The club don't. Right, but then you look at it, the fans on the club, right? So the club,
Yeah,
the people who work for the club might have kissed his ass. But I'm glad JJ didn't get that kind of reception. That, oh, thank you for being here. We're all here at the airport. We're at the stadium. We're rooting for you, JJ signs. I'm glad he didn't get that. Now you got to earn it. You know what I mean? So when you say things like this and you haven't done anything yet, you know what I mean? Like this is, forget what he's done for us, the championships that he's won. Like this is a new stint. Like Mario said, now we're back. It's a little awkward. People, it feels a little weird. Like people saying in the chat, it does feel a little weird. I'm glad he didn't get that type of response, because now we're gonna see what you really made of. Do you really love this club? How much do you love this club? You're gonna put us in a position to win. Things that have happened as of late, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I guess people, it's a business. You know, you're not gonna get to keep every player, and
yeah.
that's touching on Fernando, Rafael Pinto Lourenço. Jesus Christ, that's a
Yeah,
name, guys.
you got Portuguese, man. You got to have
That's a, yeah,
four names, man.
yeah. But really quick, let's put a bow on the game so we don't have to harp back to it really quick.
Yeah,
Benfica gets the 2-0 win. Darwin gets on the sheet, and really quick, I just want to say a couple things. Everton, Cebolinha was, and I know this is going to sound crazy, even because Darwin is so special, but I think Cebolinha is the best signing we made. And really quick, let me just make my argument. Rafa was so inconsistent at that side. It was just so inconsistent. One day he'd show up, one day, you know what I mean? One day he wouldn't. The next game he scored 2 goals, the next game he wouldn't. Uh, Everton is not scoring goals. He's not showing up on the stat sheet every time. But his touches on the ball, the every time the ball is on his side, every time he has a chance, every time he makes a pass. Now, I mean, everything. He's a Brazilian, so he's got that ginga. So he's gonna try some things, and yes, he's gonna give up the ball every now and then. That's just how it is. You know what I mean when you're playing that way. But I just love watching him play so much on that left side. He's so consistent in what he does. He's unselfish at times. I think he's still learning that. But Everton is such a, yes, Josh. He's in a different class. The reason I say that I want to bring this up is because I can't wait for a player like that to play Sporting. I can't wait to see a player like that play Porto, because the dynamic that this guy has, we get to attack everybody in a different. It's a different way. It's JJ's way. It's the Brazilian, the Ginga. But this kid, man, like this guy, like we got so lucky we signed him for $20 million. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, what we have right now, we've already doubled or tripled our money up, in the front with Darwin, with Wally, with with Everton. Like I have to give them credit where credit's due. The players that they brought in, I mean, Vertonghen is still, for me, it's a little shaky for me. And Otamendi is still a little shaky for me. But every time Everton gets the ball, I think like it's good. Something is gonna happen. Something special is about to happen, and we've seen glimpses of it with the give with the soft give to Darwin for the goal. The back heel, or it's to Wally. The back heel to Wally. The way he cuts in and kind of drags defenders with him, like man,
Can I ask
it's fun. I
you?
just wanted to give a shout out to him.
Can I ask you a quick question? And this is. I'm trying to think as I ask this question, and I mean this sincerely. I am hyped about Everton. I love this signing. He is the first signing in a very long time, in my personal opinion, that is a top quality player that plays for the Brazilian national team that many clubs around the world would like to have. That is a finished product that will develop. He's a young finished product. And what I mean by that is like there's
Right.
guys that are young and rookies
Still
and
got
green,
to learn on the
but
professional level.
this guy is legitimate. Like he's playing next to Neymar in Brazil. He was the main star on Brazil more so than Neymar for the Copa that they won very recently, and he is just a gem of a player. And it is nice to see that. It's something we've wanted ever since like for many years back. Like when George left in the first time when we had all these hundreds of millions coming in for the past few years. It's like, come on, why don't you drop $40 million and sign someone that has like. And this is, I think, the outcome is if you go ahead and just get talent, talent delivers, right? And I love it. I'm trying
Of
to
course.
think of the last time we got someone at that level, and I'm having a hard time, to be honest, thinking of someone. And I think that goes to show that it's just this is a rarity. I'm happy. I love watching this kid.
Real quick for everybody in the chat, I want to know: can this is gonna sound crazy? Can Everton play on the right? You think he could play on the right? I think
I
he
think he
seems
could.
like
I
he's
think he
lining
could.
up.
I don't know if he would, how well he
You
would
know
do, but I think he's talented. He's a professional. I think a player at his level can do it. I just sometimes wonder
you know
is
why I say that? And because today I was wondering, and this is sound crazy. I want to see Servi play with this with the guys that
have
we
the higher
have.
pace, the higher pace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If we could get Servi in, I know he hasn't played a lick. Like he hasn't played at all. Like he's a forgotten player. I don't want. I want to go over here to. And this is gonna like, stretch into some of these questions in a little bit, but he's a forgotten player. I mean, he hasn't had no play whatsoever, but he's such a pacey, gritty player. Like I can't believe JJ hasn't found something to do with this guy. Like where has he been? If you have all these dynamic players, if you have all these fast, high paced players right now that we want high press, right? Like Servi has to. I don't know, man. Like I just wonder because Rafa just doesn't like. I don't know, man. I used to love Rafa when we bought Rafa. Even when he was playing those first 2 years with us, I was like, I don't know, but I really like Rafa, man. I really do.
Josh is
But I
saying
just
he's played right for Brazil before.
I
It'd
don't
be
know.
interesting to see. It'd be
I'm
interesting to see.
just like it would be an interesting team, man. Because Servy's not selfish. He would give up the ball. I mean, let Wally and Darwin play. I'm just maybe I'm playing FIFA, but
No, but Servy's not a player that takes shots. He's a player that
I don't want.
creates speed, creates pace, and distributes the ball. And when you got two guys like a Wall Smith and a Darwin, and these guys are taking shots, taking goals, getting goals. You want that. Like Servy wasn't working out when we only had Seth and we're playing one striker and Seth was never shooting the ball. He was going through this rut that it was almost like this sucks. You're doing nothing with the ball.
Well, that's
But in
well that
this
well
format, it
Josh
could
said
look
he's
nice.
not too bad technically. Yeah, he's not a shooter of the ball. You know what I mean? He's. I mean, he's not the worst passer though. You know what I mean? Is he? He's not a bad passer. You get the ball on
No,
somebody's
he
feet.
he distributes. He's pacey, distributes. He knows how to hold it, and he's willing to like hug the line and run the line. And he's an interesting guy, man. He is interesting. Eric brought up Durcic and also Cristante. Yeah, we've had guys that have come by that looked. I think out of those two, Cristante was the guy I was really hyped. I was hoping to have like an Italian stallion at Benfica.
Well, he was good, just not for us.
Not for us. But then he kind of disappeared. Also, he kind of looked good. We got him. Nothing. Went on
They
loan. Looked
flipped him
kind of
for 30.
promising. Yeah, they flipped him, and he looked promising on loan. And then I don't know what happened to him. Right? The guy faded away. But I
So
like him, man.
real quick,
Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this question, Fernando. We'll go to that. We'll go to these questions here in the chat really quick. Fernando Rafael Pinto. He says, "Hi from Portugal. Thought on the amount of loan players. don't you think we can have an even more competitive roster if we had fewer loans, basically? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think the loan players is a stigma of this current administration of making deals with agents and getting money in people's pockets. And I always hear the story that we make a lot of money off loaning players. And yeah, we do. It's like, oh, we made $100,000 from ABC Club from loaning him. We also paid $100,000 to ABC Agent Corporation for that deal. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we do too much, not for the benefit of the club. I think if you, even if it wasn't much money, you take 20 guys that are dead with Crovey. I like Crovey. He's not a fit for this club. What's the problem? You want to pay us
Right.
10 million? Give us 10 million. Make him go away. But you do 5, 10, 2, 3, 5. You know what I mean? Enough though. You do that 20 times, and now you go and get another Everton type player, like one or two more of those players, and you take this club and you make them more competitive in Europe and more of a powerhouse, right? Um, and yeah, so that's kind of, I, yeah, it goes to a shotgun approach where we sign all these guys and then you don't know what to do with them. Like remember Alpha Smidu?
I'll be honest, man. I don't think that there's a player that's not on this team on loan that should be on this team. And I know a lot of people say, "What about Krovinovic?" He was good for a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he put us on our backs or anything. We lost that season. I mean, we didn't win the championship that season. So it's not like, we plugged him in. Yeah, he got hurt. I mean, it's sometimes, you got the best ability is availability. You know what I mean? And if you're not there when we needed you and somebody else comes in and does this thing, I mean, that's just how soccer goes, man. It's not a very, if you're okay or mediocre, you could lose your job fast. I
Yeah.
don't think though that there's anybody on loan that should be here. I mean, who? Like, I mean, other than Crovey, I don't want anything to
Would you
do
would
with
you
Alpha
would you take
Smith.
Florentino? You want a box to
Oh, that's
box defensive
different.
mid?
That's different,
No,
though.
no,
Yeah,
but yeah. So
I didn't
that's an
think about
example of
that. No, I
yeah,
mean it's not
yeah,
different though because he's
uh,
on loan. It's not.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Because now exactly you're not sold on Weigel. This is the thing that crazy. He's not sold on Weigel, the defensive center mid. So he loans out the kid instead of like keeping him home and developing him. I mean,
Yeah.
if you didn't like Weigel, just flip him back for another 20. You know what I mean? Like, is he doing $20 million worth of work on the field right now?
Yeah, no,
No,
right, it doesn't feel like it. I'll say Darwin is,
no.
is earning
But
his
if
keep
you
more,
got
right?
Florentino Luis, who you're paying maybe what $100,000, you know what I mean? How much money does he make? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
fuck, give him a pay raise.
Pennies, pennies.
Compared to some of these other guys, and I agree.
Compared to some of these
Yeah,
other guys, why not keep him here? Develop that kid. Let him play this game today. You wouldn't tell me that Tino wouldn't have just killed it today with against Belenenses. Like, of
yeah.
course he would have.
And he's a box to box guy. Another guy like I mentioned his name and Josh brought him up in the chat. Like Alpha Samidu, I said him. He's on loan at Reading. Got 2 assists today. He's a box to box strong kid, but I don't know,
I've
man.
seen Alpha Semedo score a goal for Benfica before.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, but again, it's like we gotta clean up house. I wouldn't mind tossing it over to Andrew Costa there. Opinion on Ramsh Gonzalo there. Do you think he's gonna see minutes? Just you think it's just waiting for the task or something like that, or do you think there's
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this much: maybe they believed in him a lot more than we think because they got rid of Vinny. I mean, they didn't really have to get rid of Vinny, and we said it. Now, I'm not saying that what we say on the show is law or an order or anything like that, but we said that if Gonzalo Ramos is gonna see the field, then somebody's got to go.
yeah?
You know what I mean? Somebody's got to go, and Vinny was the one. So I think that Benfica they believe in Gonzalo Ramos. I think we're waiting for the Tasa to see him. I don't see why he couldn't play up top with Darwin. You know what I mean? That would be a nice
I
1-2
would have
punch.
liked to
Even
see him kind of
Seferovic,
like
like he could be even play with Seferovic. It would be a nice little uh, combination up there for a Tasa game or something like that. But I'm definitely excited about it. It seems like we just grow these players. It seems like that. I think we get a little spoiled because we can just grow these teams, these players like fruit. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like all of a sudden, it's just a new fruits popping up. You got this new kid, and all of a sudden, because 2 years ago, I'm honest, I didn't hear about Gonzalo Ramos. I only heard about
No, you,
Gonzalo
you
Ramos
hear him in the
really.
youth side, right? You hear this guy's coming up, and
Yeah.
but you hear so many guys that are interesting coming up, and it's neat. We got, I think the next chance, I think the chance we will see him, I think it's the Tassa. It's November 22nd. We're facing a second or third division side. I got a feeling that that's where George Jesus will throw in a bunch of hodgepodge guys and give him a shot. I'd love to see him off the bench. Travis Wilson there. He's stuck on the German thing. He feels confident with Weigel. I think Weigel is a more.
I like Weigel.
I like him. I like him. I think he's a more intelligent player in terms of. I don't know. I don't see him nervous in Europe. I see he goes and does his job. I think he's a professional. I like the guy. It's just getting the chemistry. It's the chemistry and the team is still off. I think we could still do something great with them.
He's not an attacking player. He's not an attacking player. Josh is right. He said it in the chat earlier. He does slow down the attack because
But that's okay. Like if you look at Phasia, wasn't an attacking player either.
That's true. But Phasia was a dog.
He was a beast. He was a beast, a monster. Yeah.
Because Weigel, although he's German, he's not that dog German defender that you think of. You know what I mean? Like Boateng or somebody like that. You know, I'm not calling a center back or anything. I'm just saying that dude's a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a lot nicer than I would expect my German national center defensive mid to be. You know, if he was a beast and he was just, you know, cutting everybody, I'll take a yellow card every now and then. It's all good. Let them know you're there. You know what I mean? Let them know you're there. I like Weigel though. I really, really do. Vinny demanded playing time, right? And then Eric said, "Yeah, but he's on the. You go to Spurs because you thought you were gonna get more playing time at the Spurs than you were at Benfica."
But again, I'll say this: Vinny's transfer, and this again goes back to the whole presidential thing, is a certain individual that's connected with him that got paid a commission for him to go to Spurs.
I don't even think he's. I don't.
No, but I'm just saying, Vinny. If Vinny was playing time, he'd be at a club to get playing time. He's not getting playing. He's having the same situation at Tottenham as he has with us.
40?
Whatever.
40.
I think it's a bit higher than that. We're willing to sell for 40 or something like that.
So if they buy him for 40, I consider us lucky. I consider us lucky if somebody bought him for $40 million. You kidding me?
But here's the thing. I still view this as like this was a loan, not in the best interest of the player because the player wants playing time. A loan in the best interest of an agent to get a paycheck because they get a commission cut with these loans also, right? So it's sometimes I look at the loan deals and even going back to the comment earlier on loan players, there's strategic loans where you take a guy, you say, I like you, you don't fit into this team, but I think there's something in you. I'm going to send you here to another team that's playing something similar to what we do, but you'll get playing time there. Go away for a year and come back a bit stronger. I hate loan deals like Jetson sitting on the bench at Spurs and those ones. You're wasting the kid. Like, I'd rather see a kid at Belenenses loaned out there than in the EPL doing nothing in the bench. Like, I just feel it's not strategic in the interest of the club. It's strategic in the interest of an agent because Belenenses ain't paying a commission for that loan.
Speaking of players and agents, will somebody please explain to me how the fuck we sold Diogo Dantes for $8 million? Did we get anything else? Like, was there?
It's a loan, and they can buy at $8 million.
A house. What got thrown into the deal that you let go of your? I mean, he was just on the first team 2 years ago. They brought him up for the summer tour. We seen him play. I seen him play in San Francisco. You know, so it's like, where all of a sudden did you go from the highest touted youth player that we have to going to Bayern Munich for $8 million?
B team. But you see the what game was it? What game was it? I'm trying to remember now. João Felix against Bayern Munich. Was it? No.
I heard that too, Josh. Real quick, while I was thinking, I heard that too. I heard there was no option to buy. I heard that. But why do they keep telling me that? Why do I keep hearing $8 million?
No, there's a buyout option. They can buy him.
I heard there wasn't. But see, that's the thing that confuses me because when it first happened, he's going to Bayern.
Well, a lack of transparency and intent. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was funny. It was João Felix, Bayern Munich, Champions League. Game ends. Dunch is on the B team for Bayern, but he actually went to the stadium to watch the main team play Champions League, so he's on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Game's over. João Felix swings by. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And the main coach goes up to João Felix because João Felix is a neat guy to talk to, and he looks at Dunch, and there you see him talk. He's like, "Yeah, what about this kid?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I like this kid." He starts slapping the kid on the back. He's like, "Hey, he's an interesting character." And he's like, but Bayern Munich's probably like, "Sure," But I got a feeling there's probably more money to be made from the agent than there is for Benfica on this, and it's just, but
See,
yeah,
this is the one
people are
thing.
saying it's
The one
like
thing
no option
JJ
or not an option. I don't know. It's like even then going back to the loan deal, it just makes no sense. This loan deal, you know what I mean? Like for the development of the player.
Kev, what's up, Kev?
Hey,
Kev's
buddy,
in.
Kevin's in. Nice.
What? See, it just confuses me, man. Like if maybe the story was fake because, like I said, the election looms. Let's you know what I mean. All these things have a lot to do with what's been going on. The one thing with JJ, and we all knew, is once JJ came here, the youth is done. Like what youth player? There's no youth player. Gonzalo Ramos is on the first team. Okay, there's not one youth player starting except Tavares. I'm calling him Tavares from now on because the English dude I was watching. My Nuno Tavares, bro.
Nuno Tavares.
Nuno Tavares is the only player, and that's by necessity. That's by necessity. And I know we all said a long time, we need to get experienced players. We need to sign more players. But there has to be some Benfica, because I like it, because I love it so much. I like Benfica youth players. I do.
I'll be honest. Yeah, no. But here's the thing: the logical sense is, okay, if our youth was trash, because there was a time period where it was. Then you're like, okay, cool. We have no one to use. When your youth team is going to the final of the Youth Champions League, and you're talking, these are the best kids in all of Europe.
Cool, we ain't got nobody to use.
You know what I mean? But there was a point that happened. But yeah, right now these kids, they're good, and it's like you gotta find a way of incorporating one or two. It's like you can't sit here and say you got the best youth in Europe for the last 5 years, and struggle incorporating it. It's like that's just a systematic failure at the club at the various levels, right? In terms of, there's one thing I want to mention.
You know why too? Because it pisses me off. We're still not in the Champions League. I'm still upset about that. You know what I mean? I'm not really.
Well, I'm upset because PAOK is a weaker team than Olympiacos, and I see Porto smacking Olympiacos, and I think we're better than Porto right now, and I'm just like, we got and fucked up, Ron. You know what I mean? Like that was
JJ Ron.
JJ Ron, my God. But it's. Jorge Jesus, I think someone made a comment earlier in terms of, does he like Lucian Fieta? I honestly don't know because, they left on nasty terms. Let's be honest. He came back on this big promise. Jorge Jesus talked big about wanting a box-to-box, wanting Ruben Semedo, wanting to keep Ruben Diaz, and all these other things. And he publicly said these things, and he didn't get a lot of what he wanted. He did get a big spend, and he got an interesting team. He got given a lot of resources. But he's already kind of come out and backhand complimented Luis Fieta, but not in a nice way about the transfers. Kind of like it's not his decisions being made. You know what I mean? When he was hired, and it was kind of like pitched a certain way. I think he's here for a paycheck, and he's going to get them every dollar out of us. But he's also a guy that wants to win. He has a big pride, so he could hate the club and still try to win, right? So I have no doubt. I believe in him. I do believe in him. But I think, I don't know, man. And my fear right now. So segueing into the selection, right? My fear is we got a very close race. It's a guy dropped out today. We're down to basically Luis Fieta, Lopes, and Rui.
C dropped out.
C dropped out, and it's I took a photo. It's on my phone. I should have put it up here. They kept our buddy Rui Gomes, which was on the show, and I really appreciate this guy. I think he's a nice guy. They kept him as a D, and right now the FICA website, it's like Luis Fieta versus A versus B, Lopes, and D down here. It's like, well, what happened to the C? It's like they didn't reshift it or anything like that. And he's like, his photos there. I don't know.
That's what they said. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So it's an interesting setup. I there's been a lot of hanky panky with the election setup. Like I know even myself, I'm a bit of a victim of it because I got personal story. I got two socios. I got myself and my wife.
Did you get it in the mail?
I didn't get it in the mail, and I don't think I am gonna get it because my situation is I got two socios. I got one for the wife, one for myself, and I pay full pop. The kids are under the wife's name because that's how they do it in Portugal. It's the woman's job, so that's how they slaughter the kids' socios. But they came out in recent years with a family pack, right? Family pack is because, and the family pack is the wife and 2 kids and the husband. It's a different pricing. And so my socio came up for renewal this summer, and I kind of started looking into it. I'm like, man, it's a bit cheaper if I get the family pack. And they had my address and my parents' address, and wanted Institute's address at a different address. This shit's all fucked up with Benfica. And I tried before getting the addresses fixed. The election's coming up. I want this thing fixed. I want the proper addresses. I want no excuses. So I started emailing with a rep at Benfica. And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, just, pay up your socio, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I'll pay up. I always pay up for a year, but, like, fix the addresses because you guys never fixed this. I want to make sure I actually get the ballot this time. So back and forth, took a month. Then they finally fixed the addresses. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, this family pack. How's this thing work? Like, I'll do my socio. I'll pay. Here's my visa. Just let's get this shit straight. Now the addresses are the same. You can do family pack. Yeah, we can do family pack. Okay, cool. Here's my visa card. No. I need your Portuguese bank account number. I'm like, guy, you pay with Visa every year. And it's like, no. The family pack a different system. I'm like, fuck you. And so I talked to a buddy in Toronto, Sergio. He's like, oh yeah, you can get a bank account here in Toronto. So I go to Toronto, and then with the COVID, the hours are fucked. Long story short, I can't do it. So then I'm like, fuck it. I will then, this goes on for weeks.
Leave it up to them.
So very recently, I'm like, fuck it. And not only did I pay the socio, I pay always a year in advance. So I pay that up.
Leave it up to the masses, Mario.
Yeah.
Leave it up to the masses, bro.
So now I go on the Benfica website because officially today, this is how Benfica's done it. No debate, last minute announcement, and now they moved the date, which was supposed to be a few days from now to today, which makes it tougher. And on here, any paid socio has a right to vote, and there's a way to call in. So I've been looking into that. And I read into it today, because they finally released this today, a day before the fucking election. They're saying only before August, if you had your shit squared away, and that's when I was trying to square away the family pack. So, I don't know. My buddy Jeff just got his here. I know a lot of friends in Canada that haven't got theirs yet.
But if it's tomorrow and he just got his, so do you vote online or what the fuck? What's going on?
There's like some confusing pin system that they're using on the website that always crashes and never works. I don't know. We're gonna see. I think it's gonna be. Eric says he's probably got his sent to England.
Who's gonna win?
I don't know. I think in the last few weeks, from the Bernardo Silva plead that he came out, and saying, hey, guys, get this fucker out of the club. That's a very big one. But also, you got some really big guys. Antonio Simões, which was like a European champion for Benfica, like a big guy, is backing Lopes, and he's coming out in the media going hard, man. This is our one chance to get this club back. This is you fans. If you come out and vote, this is our team. We're losing this club right now. And I think, between different things that have been happening recently, it feels like we're losing it. And also the vote count. I don't know if you understand the vote count. So here's the vote count. And maybe I will pull something up
here. So
if
you're, let me guess real quick. So if you're 100, your vote's like 100. If you're over 75 and under 100, your vote's what? 75.
So it's weird. It's the 1 to 5 years. It's worth 1 vote. 5 to 10 years, which is my category, is 5 votes. 10 to 25 years is 20 votes. 25 years is 50 votes. However, the 50 vote for people with 25 years only applies to people within a few kilometers of Benfica. So people outside of Lisbon, there are people that have 20.
What does that even mean?
So what it means is if you don't live in Lisbon, so imagine
just
like
a few kilometers from Benfica. You have to live by the stadium.
Yeah, within the Lisbon itself. So this would be like you're a Raiders fan for like 25 years. You're a voting member, but they go, Alex, you're not in Oakland. I'm like, yeah, I'm like literally like 30 some odd minutes away. You get 20 votes. The guy like a few blocks further gets 50 votes. And so there is an orchestrated effort where Luís Vieira for his campaign focuses mainly on this 50 vote rich group. And so you
so he just walks around the neighborhood kissing babies and
they got the names. They got this. And these are the guys, surprise, surprise, when Benfica has an event and they're allowed, hey, we're allowed 20 people to this private event. Guess who gets the invites? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of bribery going on with the Casas and these types of vote people.
That's not a fun party. Only 20 people.
Yeah, but even like they have like so there's a lot of shenanigans that's been happening for quite some time, and it's gotten more prominent. And people know they're onto it, and now it's just this big debate about like, does enough numbers, because it's a case where 150 guy, one fucking Veloz that got paid off of Luis Vieira is worth 50 votes. You got to get 5 to 50 regular guys to counterbalance. So we could have.
How does it look?
It's
How does it look?
So
how does it look if we wake up in a couple days? Because it'll take 2 days, right? So
no, it'll
tomorrow.
be tomorrow, but because the time difference, right? So the election will be done 4 o'clock Eastern
Now.
time.
Okay.
So and then they got to count. So by like this time tomorrow.
It's 4 in the morning over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this time tomorrow, around this time, we should have an idea. There is truly a real risk that we could have Luis Vieira as president, what a candidate that lost with more people who voted for him by a bigger sum of numbers, but because of the jerry rigging of the count. I think, again, you can't take social media for polling. I think it's BS. I think what you can look at, though, is things like Luis Vieira has his own account on Twitter that he did just purposely for this campaign. And if you look and there's like a campaign account for him, right?
What's his name? The best name, dude. Best name. We gotta think of something. What the fuck is his Twitter handle? Tweet his Twitter handle in the chat. What the fuck is his Twitter?
Let me see if I have it. I don't even follow him. I follow Lopes, but I don't follow Luis Vieira. Let's see if I can find him. Felipe Vieira.
Oh my God, Vieira's on Twitter now. Jesus Christ! Now we have Donald Trump and Vieira on Twitter at the same time.
It's not him. It's his campaign. It's a 2020 campaign account, but it's got like less than 1,000 followers, and people just mock it. And like
we're mocking it right now.
Yeah, but Lopes has like legit support. Like he has. I've never seen a guy like.
My problem.
Yeah, go for it.
With him, my bad. My problem with Vieira. It's just he looks like a crook. When I know motherfucker, when a motherfucker don't like to answer questions, like he'll put he'll shrug his shoulders high. He'll get. You see the interview he had, and when he told the guy, he's like, "You must be on them, on one of their sides."
He gets very defensive right away.
Very defensive. You know what I mean? Like it's just he's a shady character.
He's in real estate. Who deals in big real estate that's not shady?
And look, like I told you, I know a lot of the old guys a lot of the older, Portuguese people, love this guy. They love him. They absolutely love him. So if you're telling me that the people with 25 years or more, how many of those votes?
50 each if they're in the Lisbon area.
50 each.
50. So you got 100 of those.
The old people, the older 5, generation.
Yeah.
Somebody stop calling them old people. My grandfather's old people. But the older generation, pretty much have this club, by the balls, I guess, if you will, the way I look at it.
But also
being out here for me, I don't really get into the politics. I'm a Benfica fan. I like the 11. Beyond the 11, you can go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? The Vieiras and whoever he's got in his cabinet, I don't really care as long as they win. I'm not loyal to any one president. I think that's the problem is that there's this loyalty.
But I think it's smoke and mirrors though. I honestly think it's smoke and mirrors because you see it lately. I cannot find an account online. I find 1 or 2 accounts online. I follow all Benfiquistas. I don't care if you like Luis Vieira or not. I will follow anyone if you love the club. We're all Benfiquistas.
I don't even know who those people are who don't do.
But you don't see them. You don't see anyone coming out saying, "Yo, that's my dog." Yo, I swear,
my dog.
I see more people supporting Trump online that are Benfiquistas than I see people supporting Luis Vieira. That goes. The guy is lower ranked than Trump, but there's. Like Robert Fernandes brings up, like the rally, the amount of passion he's getting, it's insane. Like I look at this guy online and I see these videos.
I've seen that.
He walks. There's one he walks into town, like it's a town, nighttime. What guys with like the flares? It looks like a no-name boys get together, and he's walking, and there's just people are going. The guy's a rock star. They're treating.
This is a gang. It's kind of a gang.
So there's a hype, and I'll say one thing. Historically, in recent years, reason Luis Vieira's won is he's been able to change the rules, so you have to have 25 years to be able to run. So that, remember Rui Gomes was telling us that, and that early on eliminated a lot of people who could run. He's been really good at snuffing out opposition and using BTV and the media arm Benfica to crush anyone. So Rui Gomes is that example that talked up and he got decimated for the last few years. Lopes was smart, waited, only said it recently that he's running.
He
Did he?
never wears a
No, he's a cool cat.
tie.
But you know what I mean?
Just as I'm sitting here thinking, like, he's just always just, like,
Yeah, and then we got
can't get
like the other thing I would say. So going back historically, so there wasn't much competition. Lucian Vieiras was winning with like 16,000 votes. That's it. There's 200,000 plus socios. So here's the title. If Lucian Vieiras loses a bit of his support, a little bit, I think he lost a little bit, not much, but he lost a bit, and 20,000 motherfuckers show up and vote across all the voting channels, Lopes wins hands down.
Yeah,
It doesn't take much. It
I
doesn't
think
take too much
he's
for him to
not
win.
very smart, man. Like this off season didn't seem very smart. Like, he didn't play his cards right.
He
Like
was
I
smug. He
think
was
like
arrogant. He thought, you know
and
what?
not only that, but he did a lot of things that I'm not sure a lot of people are happy with. Like Ruben Diaz, you did that right before the election. You know what I mean? Like you just signed Otamendi right
Yeah.
before the election. You gave him the armband. Like, we're not the only people talking about this. There are people talking about this in Portuguese. You know what I
Well,
mean? So it's not just us.
it's an offense, but like we said it. So here's the thing: is people can, people defend the Otamendi thing, and I get it. I get it. A lot of the players on this team do not deserve to wear the armband. That is Otamendi being a captain is a sad statement on the current team as is. That doesn't bode well for Luis Vieiras' campaign.
But we're good, though. But we're good.
We're good.
A
We're
good
getting
team.
there because the players, the talent is there. We just couldn't get the
We're
talent to
getting
work well, right?
We're getting there.
Because the talent, a lot of this talent was Rui Vitória, and we did well at a point with him. It was a lot of similar talent with Lage. We did good at that point with Lage. It's just talent isn't motivated or doesn't like they can become demotivated very quickly and don't have the passion. And someone like George Jesus, sticking a coal up their ass is working. But it's also a sign of the struggles and what's happened to this club in the last 4 years. People kind of go to Luis Vieiras, and I think people take me the wrong way. I appreciate what he did many years back. Don't get me wrong. But you look at each guy in his terms. He's been past his prime with us, and the last 4 years has been a train wreck. Mitigated disaster. Like, I think what we did in Europe in the last 4 years, this is when we got the 0 points. This is when we lost the Penta. This is when we kind of like embarrassed ourselves multiple times in Europe. This is when we made like close $500 million and then spent a cent. And now, like, on the eve of the election, you go and sign Everton, Darwin, George Jesus, and you start kind of just blasting out money and see that I got this. Like, we're a bunch of schmucks. Like,
Yeah, but then you didn't make the Champions League, so now it's a little pie in your
Yeah,
face. And then, like,
it's
I
good.
get it. We all know why Ruben Diaz got sold. Yeah, we didn't make the Champions League. I get it. I mean, you get $60 million in a time like this. I mean, for him, like that. I mean, I would have rather 100. Of course,
But it's
I would
funny.
have rather
It's
the
funny.
buyout.
Yeah, but like we pretty much made almost the same money we spent, so we didn't really spend $100 million.
Right.
It's kind of
Right.
like it's kind of like
And then we almost made 100. Now we made 100 million
like we didn't
because if
actually.
these
But
cats can keep doing it.
yeah, so we kind of didn't really spend the Joan
He's
Felix
a
money.
lucky son of it. Sometimes, you know what? If one thing, I want to go to the casino with Vieta, with Luis.
Because you know what he does well. You know what he does well though. He does have so part of Vieiras' game
craft
is
tables with this lucky son of a
Yeah.
bitch because boy, he be rolling the dice and the son of a gun, he just
well, because you know what he does. He's not good.
Devin.
He's not good at rolling the dice. He's good at talking to the guy who plays the cards and the guy who's his buddy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the shit he does with the
He might get his
agents.
he might get his hand fucking busted
Yeah.
this time.
So like the agent bit, I bash it, but that's part of Luis Vieiras' game. It's like he gets in bed with the agents, he pays them a ton of cash, and I think Darwin is a reward for it, though, right? You got to give the man his dues. I think Darwin was a case of like, here's your scouts, here's your people saying, okay, here's a guy that's decent that you might want. Kind of, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Travis said it. Travis said when there isn't an election, you sell Felix, get RDT. In the lead up to election, you suddenly get talent. I mean, yeah. I mean,
No, people
that's
aren't blind.
campaigning.
Yeah,
Hey, that's campaigning. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he used Benfica's money. He used these transfers. He campaigned, and I think I don't think it was good enough. And
No, but it was so
wish I
blatant.
was
It was so
pushing
blatant. Like
better because I wouldn't even get. First of all, if I was a socio, I would only get it for the percentage off and to say that I was a socio. But clearly, people who live outside of the United States, being a socio doesn't. I mean, unless you get that vote in tomorrow, it doesn't really mean anything other than you're about a part of this club that doesn't mean anything. The
I'll be,
club doesn't mean anything. I
yeah.
mean, not the club. What I meant, not
No,
that.
but the socio. I got a lot of friends that were socios. I got friends.
Right.
Yeah, I got friends that were socios that are no longer socios because there's no benefit. We live
Yeah,
here. We don't live
you
there.
get 35% off the team store, and then got to pay $80 for shipping it anyway. So
Yeah,
what does it
it's
matter?
not even much.
And then
It's not much
you,
off. It's
you're,
it's.
and don't get a red pass just to let all the tickets go away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the red
weird.
pass I don't agree with. I don't agree with the red pass
I don't get it.
situation.
I get there being some sort of like, okay, you get the top tier. If you want the red pass, you got to sit at the fucking very top of the goddamn stadium. You know what I mean? That's what a red pass is. That's how you get more bang for your buck. You want it the whole season? You go sit your ass by the light, literally. Go by the luge. And then the rest of those tickets should be, I get socios, get tickets and things like that, but it doesn't make any sense to be a socio just to get a red pass and not go to these games. It makes no sense.
So Kevin brought up a point. Makes me kind of laugh a bit. Darwin was the plan B to Cavani. I think that's a fucking hilarious plan B, man. But like to me, I think that's also part of Luis Vieira's failing in this campaign is that he kind of came out guns a blazing. It's like, I'm gonna sign George Jesus. I'm gonna spend $100 million. You guys watch. I got this. We're getting Cavani, and he didn't say it, but he let that airtime play like no tomorrow, and that fell apart so badly that I think even there are people that were like, there were people, even myself, where I'm like, I hate this motherfucker. But George Jesus, I like his style. You sign me Cavani and you sign Everton, you sign all these guys. I'm excited. You know what? Fine. I could forgive. I was almost kind of like, not saying I was buying into it. I didn't like him. I'd never vote for the guy, to be honest, at this stage. But it's a case of like, maybe you're finally doing it. Fine. Let's see what you got. Let's see what Yeah. Fuck.
Maybe
let's
you're finally doing it.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. And then fuck. It's like we're gonna present Cavani out of the second division of La Liga, Darwin. And I was like, and I like Darwin. I love him today. When we signed him, I was pissed.
Yeah, me too. I got a tweet. I didn't delete it. It's out there.
No, but you tease us Cavani and whip out a second division kid no one's heard. He's like, well, he's Uruguayan. Didn't you guys want a Uruguayan on the front of this team? And you're like,
Edison, Darwin. I mean, it's all philosophy.
Those guys, they got old names, old timey names.
They got old names. Oh, yeah, they got, it's all good.
Yeah, they kind
of. I guess I say this because I watch United games. When Cavani's very first touch in the United jersey, I would have been so upset if he scored that fucking goal because that shit was like unnecessary. He didn't even need to be shitting on everybody like that. I would have just been like, I would have been happy because he scored against Chelsea, but goddamn, if he scored that goal, I'd have been more upset just on the other side, like. Yeah. Fucking Vieira, bruh. Like, this is what we could have had. Like, that first touch by him, that shit was nasty. He almost scores it on just a flick of the fucking ankle, bro. Like, it was crazy. But, like I said,
it is what it is. But I think Vieira, like, he played around with too much of our emotions across the board. We'll see how the vote goes. I really do think it's going to be closer than people anticipate. I think originally I thought Vieira would just run away with it like he normally does. But fuck, Lopes' run, man. One heck of a campaign. He's polished. He's intelligent. He's like Vieira. You know what he did to Vieira? Vieira's like, oh, Rui Gomes is fanatical. He's not a businessman. He belongs in the stands cheering for the team, not in the boardroom. This Lopes guy was an executive at a corporate side and more successful in business than Vieira ever was. It's kind of like having a businessman running for the U.S. election against Trump because Trump always touts, I'm a businessman, but he's a flop of a businessman. Vieira's a real estate guy that's not really that great of a businessman. He's done okay, but, real estate everywhere went up, so you have to be an idiot not to make money in real estate in the last, few decades. But, Lopes is a cleaner individual, a more professional individual, a higher level executive, a higher level of intelligence and well-spoken compared to Vieira. It's like, you don't got the business schmuck on you anymore. And God knows you're not one of us in the stands because we all know you had that Porto socio and you're falling asleep in the stands playing Candy Crush. And it's Lopes guys just tapping into the passion of Benfica and this and that and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, man, I'm buying into it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm sold. We're gonna try to see if I can get this vote in for myself and the wife tomorrow. I don't know if it'll work, but
Try it, man. Try it.
try
Try
it.
it, cause
But I
it
don't.
matters. I guess it does matter, man.
But
And you know what? You're gonna see a turnout. I believe, like, cause I've been on Twitter a long time, and this is how many times this election happened in
it's
Benfica?
every 4 years, man. Every 4 years. Every 3 to 4 years
Every
we
four
see.
years.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be the second or third election that I've been like, that I can remember like clearly.
This is the only
You know
one
what I
that
mean?
actually has
But this was
hype.
the one that actually has some hype, some traction. They got a lot of
Shit's
young
going down, man.
socials, got a lot of these young people,
But you got
you
a lot of
know,
these old guys. You got legendary guys that are 50 vote number guys that are pledging
right,
their
that are
support, which
with
is
him.
normal.
Yeah,
Casas.
yeah. But like I'm saying, like you have people, socios, young socios campaigning on Twitter and saying, let's do this. And you have podcasts and shows and people who are saying, they're pretty much done with the regime as of now. And
You
look,
guys
man,
know.
like Eric said, I'm a Raider fan. Just win, baby. I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care who's running the show as long as I like to watch the show. Keep the show interesting, keep it fun, keep it exciting, and I'm always gonna watch. I watched when we were shit, but I'm saying though, if it's the show they're running, then keep it nice. I want to see this guy because I'm tired of. I'm be honest. I'm just tired of watching Vieta. To be swear to God, and maybe with this dude, maybe Benfica moves into the new fucking millennium. Like what I mean? Maybe things will change. Maybe you get some more English. Maybe you'll get some more content. Maybe things will be easier to vote.
I
Things will
think
be
he's.
easier to watch. Maybe you'll get to watch debates. Maybe you know what I mean. Maybe we'll make it to the Champions League. Maybe we won't sell fucking Darwin. Yes, he has a 5-year contract. Shout out to everybody. And I wouldn't be mad about a McDonald's. I wouldn't be mad about if you put a big ass M right here in the middle of this jersey. I will eat it up. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I would
Alex would
eat
be like,
that
ba da ba
shit
da
up.
ba.
Oh,
I'm
oh, you
loving
did?
it.
Shit.
Oh
Don't tell me
man.
you don't like the fillet of fish. Every Portuguese person goes to McDonald's to eat fillet of fish. And
Yeah,
that's
I
just
think
what it is.
the fish sandwich.
The fish fillet, the fish
Sandwich,
sandwich.
the fish
That's what I'm
sandwich.
saying.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
it's.
don't try to play us. Put a big M here. That's good with me.
But I can't recall a time that I've seen this much momentum outside of the Zvedu time and all the commotion that happened early 2000s. And I was a young guy and I wasn't following it as closely back then. Like this is the most commotion I've seen at Benfica. I think Vieira shook. I think right now he's reeling.
Yeah.
He's actually using tactics. And I will say this: he came out recently, just a couple of weeks ago, with a list of Benfica Casas that are all worth 50 votes, saying they pledged support to Vieira. One of the Casas was Toronto Casa. The individual that runs the Toronto Casa, because I got a very good friend connected with her, flat out said, "We didn't pledge no fucking commitment to vote for this schmuck. Why is her name up there?" So like the thing
Yeah.
is, they're like
But see, sometimes you never know. Sometimes people they be faking the funk.
they be, but I think also here's the thing. There's also a momentum thing
They be
because
faking the funk, people.
these Casas get a lot of benefits from the club, right? So they're scared to go against Vieira. At the same time, in the twilight hours, in the last week, they're seeing Lopes. This guy, this momentum, this train is coming. They're seeing some Casas pledging
Big
allegiance.
Mac, baby. He's a Big
Big
Mac,
Mac's coming
baby.
out of the way. They're
That's
fucking.
why.
He's coming out,
Big
right?
Mac. That would have been my campaign. I'm a Big Mac.
Fucking Happy Meal
It's a
time.
small fry. Yeah. We're talking about I'm a motherfucking Big Mac. Fuck a Whopper. Do the Whopper. You know what I mean? I'm a motherfucking Big Mac. Fuck the Whopper, bro. That's what that would have been my campaign,
But the thing is, I think some of these Casas also, if they see the Lopes train coming, they go, if I pledge my allegiance to this doorknob here like I always do, and this other guy's the president, maybe I'm not getting my nice visit to the luge that I get paid for by the club every year. You know what I mean? Maybe I gotta go and vote for Lopes to get my visit next time. Yeah, I think that messes with their heads. I think I lost. Yeah, so it's
no. But look,
Big Mac
man,
sauce
we're
on
gonna
the
see
filet
tomorrow,
sandwich.
bro.
Look at fucking Kevin going wild in the chat.
I'm telling you, bro.
I've never
But
done
look,
that. Have
man,
you
I
ever done
think we
that,
should
man? I've
do
never done that shit.
what?
He put Big Mac sauce on the filet sandwich. That is like
Nah, man.
that's different, man.
I
I've never did that.
Give me the tartar. Yeah, give me extra tartar.
Dip the fries on the
True
tartar.
Portuguese. Yeah, I'm true Portuguese. Give me the extra tartar. But that's another story. We'll see when
Fishburger on
when
Fridays. Eric's
McDonald's
right. It has to be on a Friday. Fish Friday.
Yes, of course.
Fish Friday.
Friday playing fish, bro. Of course, man. We're all Catholic here. But let's do the player of the match. Let's do the player of the match. Play the match real quick. Wrap this bitch up.
Oh, one quick thing. I guess we'll wrap it up because again, like I said, I didn't see the full game. Mainly a highlight watch kind of thing. I'll start real quickly. I'll say Darwin for my man just because he got the damn goal. And I would say the play with Grimaldo with the cross leading to the header for Sveric for the goal is the play of the match. Chodis, because I didn't see it. I'm not giving you Chodis. I will say the Chodis moment, which is not putting down Grimaldo at all as he got injured. It's not putting him down. It's a shit. It's a
Do we
shitty
know
thing.
how long that is yet?
I was trying to read up. I'm trying to figure out. I couldn't see how long
Anybody
he's
know?
out. That Grimaldo, and I'm not trying to be a dick about Almeida. Almeida, he's not a bad player. He's not a great player. He does his job. I think Gilberto, not a great player. He's not the worst player out there. He'll do his job. It'll be a slight difference. I think Almeida has the experience on his backing, but Gilberto could probably come up to that level. Grimaldo is a stud. We felt him gone last year when he was in. I get more scared about the Grimaldo injury than I do the Almeida injury, and I'm not trying to put Almeida down. I'm just saying he's an impact player. So I hope it's not long, man. I don't know if anyone saw how long he's injured for, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think they have seen it yet. They said it. I don't think they've said it yet because I haven't seen anything about how long he's out. But it did look bad. Like it looked like he knew he was fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from what it showed, yeah. It's so it's sad, man. It's sad. I didn't like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
So I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm gonna give my player of the match. I'm gonna be honest. Up to that point, I thought Grimaldo was. I just thought he was the player of the match because that first goal. I'm gonna say the play of the match as well. That play of the match, that cross to Seferovic was pretty amazing, man. Like before he got hurt, Grimaldo was killing it. Like he was very comfortable, and he's very comfortable in his attacking role. So I was enjoying watching him up until he got hurt. But I'm gonna give him the player of the match because the play of the match was off his left foot. That build up from Everton to Grimaldo, that just hold that little that night. We're gonna be seeing that play for a long time. You know what I mean? Seferovic gets up. A header. He's been scoring a lot of headers lately, which is very nice to see. You know what I mean? We haven't had that in a while. A guy who can go out there and take the top off the ball. You know what I mean? A striker who can go out there and raise up a little bit and get his head on the ball. So it was nice to see him. That was my play of the match. And my Chodis in the match, oh, man, I'm going to give it to Gilberto. I know he can do a job, but like, man, like when he's going for, like I think sometimes he's too comfortable. Benfica's always been a team that they get their left backs and right backs involved in the game heavily, but I think we've grown too comfortable to that position where you have to take shots. Like in the first half, like the first 15 minutes or so, he had like 2 shots. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah.
What are you shooting for? You know what I mean? Like, set the ball up. So that's something that he's gonna have to learn to do. And he wasn't just shooting the ball; he was shooting the ball wide. So I'm gonna give it to Jill. I'm gonna call him Gil. That's what I'm calling him. Calling him Gilly. Yeah, Gil got my Chodis of the match. My player of the match, like I said, is Seferovic's goal. My player of the match was Grimaldo up until that point. And I seen Weigl was the Chodis of the match from Josh. Rafa could have been the Chodis of the match.
I saw Otamendi out there from America.
Otamendi. Yeah, I think, man, it's just. I don't know, man.
I'm not. I'll be honest.
I seen Tobito get brought up in it. I'm surprised we haven't seen him at least on the bench. Maybe he's gonna get his legs under him on the B team for a little bit, and then he'll get called up. But I would love to see him play at least Tasa games or something like that. You got to get this kid some minutes because French defender, you know what I mean? Hey, he could be an up and coming defender on the national team. I mean, he could be a good player. So, and he's young. You know, what I mean, I'd much rather see him than a guy like Jardel. Even though Jardel is really good, I get it. But like,
yeah, no, I personally,
every time
I
he goes out
agree.
There, he's getting hurt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Every time he goes out there, he's getting hurt. So, we can't afford that.
Yeah. Quick call tomorrow. You think it's gonna? Are we gonna see a change?
I know
not what you want, but do you think it's gonna happen?
I'm gonna say, yeah, for my own personal reasons. I'm gonna go with Gomes de Silva. I'm going with the dude so we can get him all the time on the show.
We're going with our boy Rui Gomes.
I'm going with Rui Gomes, bro. Are you kidding
me? He's gonna pop up the shocker, come here, take first place. He's gonna come out. I told you, bitches. You don't ever doubt me.
That's what I'm like, bro. Welcome back to the show, Presidente.
Yeah.
Appreciate you on the show again. You know what I mean? You did it. You did it for my own personal reasons. You know what I mean? Like I
Let me
said, I
see.
really
Let me
don't
see.
give a shit. But if somebody's gonna win, it might as well be the dude that we got, eat contact with. It might as well be the guy that we can talk to. Shit,
Oh man.
fuck that.
I think. Oh man. It sounds stupid. I think Rui Gomes talks my heart in the sense of he's a fan. He's like one of us. Like 40 years from now, as an old fuck. You know what I mean? Like still loving the club, still fanatical about it. I hope Lopes does it, man. I'm cheering for him. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna do it.
We'll
I
see.
think I've never seen this much momentum ever, man. I've never seen this much momentum,
We'll
man.
see.
We'll see. I'm gonna end off on some, 'cause, I'm downstairs where I do my stuff, some artwork that the kids were working down. See a little flower, they did that. See a little stencil that they use. You gotta
Oh,
put
that's,
some, quite nice, quite pretty. Then here's this one. People gotta figure out what this is. What do you think it is? You think it's a little man with a hat? Little man?
that looks like Luis Vieta.
Yeah.
Is
No.
that Vieta?
No. It's a fucking birthday cake because tomorrow we're gonna celebrate having a new president. That's gonna be.
Oh, I set you up perfect,
I
man.
love you, man. I love you, man.
I set you up perfect, man. Gotta love it.
I love
Oh
it. I
my
love it.
God.
All right, guys. As always, so much
All right,
fun.
yo.
Everyone
Thanks
in
for
the
coming in, man.
chat.
It was a quick show. We wasn't even really
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm glad we did it, man.
All the comments you guys have been posting after the show, we see you. I try to respond. I got to get up on there more. I appreciate it. Well, Alex appreciates it. Luis appreciates it. Dylan appreciates it. We just have fun, man. We have fun with you guys.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
yeah, man. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have an outstanding night. And peace.
Cree que Benfica.
Carrega.